So first on the left hand side, you can see Google say I'm getting revenue because they are providing services and the companies are paying the money. And here our Indian companies are getting the customers because they are advertising their brands, advertising their products and all. They are getting visibility, brand name, etc., etc., and customers, etc. Then this is our central government at the mid. What's our central government is getting out of it? So this is the reason why they bring this tax called equalization levy to equate the domestic TDS transaction with the foreign transactions also providing the same kind of services like advertisement services. So the first thing that you should learn to understand in this entire chapter is wherever I mentioned about section 165, section 165A, wherever I mentioned about sections, all these sections are from the Finance Act, not from the Income Tax Act. So this levy was introduced through Finance Act, and now these are not sections from the Income Tax Act. Wherever in the examination, don't write section 165 of the Income Tax Act, right? Section 165 of Finance Act 2016. Okay, and I hope to understand the background of this equalization levy. Now we are going into the provisions of this chapter. And as per, so first provision I'm going, that is section 165. As per section 165 of the Finance Act 2016, equalization levy is 6% applicable if the payment made for a specified service received or receivable by non-resident. So what does it mean? As per section 165 of Finance Act 2016, this levy was introduced in Finance Act 2016. Equalization levy, the rate is 6%. The rate of equalization levy is 6% applicable if payment made for specified service. What is the specified service? Specified service they have given at the down. What is specified service? Online advertisement. For example, you are watching YouTube, right? So when you are watching a YouTube, you will see some ads. So skippable ads, non-skippable ads, different kinds of ads will be there. That is also an online advertisement. So when you open a blog, you can see an advertisement about a product. That's also online advertisement. So anything, the Google, Facebook, even if you open Facebook, you can see the many ads. That's also a online advertisement. All these advertisement, that is specified service. First one is online advertisement. Now we will come to the point number 2. That is any provision for digital advertisement space or any other facility or service relating to the online advertisement. Not only direct online advertisement, anything related to the elite to the advertisement. For example, if anyone is providing a digital commercial space for the advertisement. So in the any blog, if you see a blank window saying that if you want to if you want to advertise on this blog, please contact to this number. Please click on this link. Even selling a digital advertisement space is also covered under the equalization levy. So there are two specified services. One is direct online advertisement. Second one is selling a digital advertisement space. So mainly I would say specified service under section 165 covers the advertisement, purely advertisement. Okay, and see now. Sorry. Now we have covered equalization levy. The rate is 6%, and what is specified service? Received or receivable by non-residents. So who can become a non-resident? I would give you a simple definition. I don't complicate this thing. We can actually discuss this more in the non-resident taxation. That would be discussed more in that chapter. That will be fair enough. And for here, I will give you an overview of who is a non-resident. For company, I would say company which is registered outside India and doesn't have a PE in India. What is PE? Permanent establishment. So I'll just give you an overview of what is PE. PA means any fixed place of business in India. Fixed place of business can be a factory, a sales outlet, a branch, etc. Okay, so these are called a fixed place of business. There is some structure, there is some building or cordon or whatever it is. But there should be a fixed place of business in India for a non-resident. Then if the non-resident is having a fixed place of business in India, as I cited here, then he can be treated as a Indian only, and the provisions of the income tax law relating to the TDS provisions, maybe section 195 in some cases, will be applicable. Equalization levy is not applicable. Okay, And who is a non-resident for a company? Company registered outside India and doesn't have a permanent establishment in India. We have seen what is permanent establishment here. We can discuss in detail in the double taxation avoidance agreement chapter and as well as in the non-resident taxation. And for individual, if individual is providing services for individuals, non-resident definition, he has to fulfill basic and additional conditions as specified in section 6. Then that individual is called as a non-resident. Okay. So the definition is like, as per section 165 Finance Act 2016, equalization levy 6% is applicable if payment made for specified service received or receivable by a non-resident. From whom he is receiving the payment, and from whom? From a person resident in India. Simple, logical. So if a person resident in India is paying money to a non-resident for providing a specified service to him, person resident in India carrying business or profession, or by non-resident having a permanent establishment in India. So because non-resident having a permanent establishment in India is becoming a resident in India, because he is having a permanent establishment connection in India, business connection in India. So these two are covered. If a non-resident is receiving money from these two category of people, then equalization levy at the rate of 6% is applicable. Okay. We have seen the specified service definition. Now we will move on to the exceptions part. Okay, so before moving on to the exceptions part, anywhere if you see this symbol, so I just kept it for your reference, nothing related to the material, but it is just a matter of your knowledge updation. So India has collected this much of equalization levy. I will actually give you some interesting points around each topic, each subject, and I will give some quotes as well at the down. Okay, now I'm moving on to the exceptions part. So for example, I'll take an example to understand this better. So I'm here. Let's take an example of Mr. A. Mr. A. Mr. A is having a small business, so which turnover itself is around 25 lakhs. We will take per year. Per year, he is having 25 lakhs as turnover. So he wants to add his. You want to take the ad services of the Facebook. Then he approached the Facebook. So Facebook, he paid some money on their website and got the advertisement also. The total amount that he spent for the whole year is 50K. Is equalization levy is applicable in this case? The answer is yes, because there is a non-resident providing the services. Equalization levy at the rate of 6% applicable. But you tell me, is this is a fair? Because he is a very small trader. If 6% goes out of his pocket, even if he spends around 25K, 10K, 5K, even 100K, this 100K also, then it becomes a very burden for them to the small traders. That's why the first point, the law says that if the equalization levy total payment for a whole year to a non-resident is up to 1 lakh, then there is no need to deduct the equalization levy. That is the first exception. So equalization levy is not applicable if the aggregate amount received by non-resident from specified service is only up to 1 lakh. So even if up to 1 lakh means, even if payment exactly 1 lakh also covered under the exemption. Okay, this is the point number 1, exemption. So let's take another example, Mr. B. So Mr. B, his marriage is fixed. It's about to happen in next 15 days. Then he approached Facebook. So he wants to give invitation. He wants to make some video that is a trending in the current times. So he wants to make a video, pre-wedding video, etc., etc. He approached the Facebook for the advertisement to all his community, So he approached the Facebook and he spent around. He's a rich guy, so let's take around. He spent rupees 10 lakhs. In this case, whether equalization levy is applicable or not? The answer is yes, because it is crossed the 1 lakh also, and he's taking the from a non-resident, he's taking the services. Then in this case, at the rate of 6%, equalization levy should be applicable. But the law has exempted this situation also, because he's not doing it for the business or profession. He's doing it for the personal life event. In the personal life event, if you advertise anything, that is exempted, that equalization levy is not applicable. That is the next one. Payment made to a non-resident for specified services is not for any business or profession. So as for example, advertisement on social media for award. If you receive an award, you want to advertise that to everyone. Then also that payment also any life events like marriage, birthday, or any other life events related. Then if you pay the money to a non-resident for online advertisement, then also that is exempted. Now we will move on to the point number 3. So point number 3 he says that levy is not applicable if the non-resident providing specified services is having a PE in India and service is connected with such PE. So here you have seen some extra point here and service is connected with such PE. So we have already discussed what is permanent establishment, who is non-resident actually, but I have not covered this point because I wanted to cover it here. So simply I can tell you that if a non-resident having a PE in India and service he is providing from that PE only, advertisement related service, then EL is not applicable. Then the income tax provisions, usual TDS or section 195 is applicable. And in case non-resident having a PE in India but services provided by the non-resident only directly from outside India, then EL is applicable. I can give you a simple in a tabular format: non-resident, yes or no, and PE having a PE, yes or no, service connected, service connected, yes or no, and EL, yes or no. Okay. In the first case, he is a non-resident and he is having a PE also, and service is connected with Indian entity with PE or not. The answer is no. Service is not connected with the Indian entity. He is not provided services from the Indian PE. Then equalization levy is applicable. Yes, equalization levy is applicable. And in the point number 2, non-resident, yes. Permanent establishment, yes. Service connected with Indian entity, yes. Equalization levy is applicable, no. Equalization levy is not applicable. I hope with this table you have got a complete clarity on the permanent establishment, non-resident concept, etc. Okay. There are 3 exceptions in the for the equalization levy under section 165. What is that? First one is related to the if the total aggregate payment is up to only 1 lakh for an year payment to a non-resident, then this equalization levy chapter is not applicable. Second, and if the service received which is of personal in nature, like a marriage function के लिए, or is there any for social media for award, if he gets an award he advertises over the social media which is not directly related to his business or profession, then in those personal cases this equalization levy is not applicable. And the third one, non-resident having a PE in India and the service also provided from the Indian entity, Indian PE only, then also equalization levy is not applicable. Okay, this is all about the equalization levy section 165. I hope you got a clarity. Now we are going to solve one question, one basic question on section 165. This is also an examination question only I'm going to solve. Okay, let's move on to the question bank now. Now we will see the question number 1. So question number 1 is related to section 165 Finance Act, that is related to equalization levy. Nikano Limited is a company, is an Indian company involved in the manufacturing and trading garments under the brand name PCOTT, that is we can call it as a PCOT. In order to expand its export sale, it launched a massive publicity campaign in overseas market. For the purpose of online advertising, it hired Sky Inc., a New York-based company for which there is no PE in India. PE means permanent establishment. There is no PE in India for Sky Inc. Nikano Limited paid 10 lakhs for its services for the financial year 2020-23. Okay, this is a basic question on the equalization levy. This is an examination question. Okay, there are two companies. One is Nikano Limited, another one is Sky Inc. Nikano Limited is an Indian company, is doing manufacturing and trading of garments under the brand name as PCOTT. Okay, they want to expand globally, so they took a help of the consultant called Sky Inc., who is actually providing the online advertisement services, for which there is no PE in it, there is no connection, business connection with India. There is no PE in India for Sky Inc. Nikano Limited has paid 10 lakh rupees for the whole financial year. So the amount crossed 1 lakh. So equalization levy is applicable. Second condition, it should be related to advertising. So this service is also related to the advertisement. It is related to advertisement, and it is a total amount crossed that 1 lakh, and the particular company who is actually a service provider doesn't have a permanent establishment in India. All three conditions are satisfied. This is a perfect case to deduct equalization levy. And how much is the equalization levy deductible? At the rate of 6%. So EL required to be deducted in this case is on entire amount of 10 lakhs. 6% is the equalization levy. To 60,000 is the total equalization levy that is supposed to be deducted. Okay. So that's all about. And nowadays they are actually not asking this level of simple questions in the examination. They are actually little complicating things. So for example, they will extend this question. They will say that what would be your answer if the Sky Inc. have a PE in India? So they will simply say that Sky Inc. is having a PE in India. In that case, equalization levy is not applicable. But they don't mention whether this particular service is related to the provided from the PE in India or not. They don't specify. If they don't specify, if they just say that, what would be your answer if the Sky Inc. in this case having a permanent establishment in India? Then you assume that this service is provided from the permanent establishment which is situated in India, and your answer will be in this particular case equalization levy is not applicable. Okay, am I clear? Whatever the income tax provisions are there, normal income tax provisions, those will be applicable in this case. That's about the question number one. Now we will move on to the section 165A, which is very important, and very recent trend is that mostly institute is asking questions on 165A because it is from the Finance Act 2020. Let us see section 1 is section 165.